How can you help others to write effectively in a workplace? It is simple. The answer is critical thinking. Critical thinking is important when writing in a workplace. It is required for all jobs. That is why when writing effectively, critical thinking is necessary. Before we go into details on why critical thinking is so important, let's talk about how the absences of critical thinking have negatively affected communication skills in today's workforce. Critical thinking skills have diminished over the past couple of years. We know this because of the lack of communication skills in our workforce. James Thomas, head of a technology staffing firm and author of the Fort Worth Business Press, reveals data from the PayScale and Future Workplace Survey of hiring managers in 2016, indicating that 60% reported that recent graduates lack critical thinking skills and 44% lack writing proficiency. James Thomas explains that if you can't communicate, it's much more difficult to differentiate yourself or add value to business relationships. Thomas also explains how critical thinking skills are essential when communicating. He says that lurking behind poor communication skills is a lack of critical thinking ability, meaning that people can't analyze or interpret information and ideas, which can have a negative impact in businesses. Not only is critical thinking essential in a workplace or when communicating, critical thinking is vital for everything. Whether at work or in school, critical thinking is necessary. Critical thinking produces effective writing and self awareness, often leading to open minded decisions and self asking questions. Critical thinking organizes thoughts and decisions by analyzing every possible outcome or idea and picking what best fits your activity. As a result, it helps you make decisions that lead to success. Liberatsky from the website Inc.com says that writing geniuses consist primarily of the ability to place oneself in the shoes of the audience, to assume only what they assume, to anticipate what they anticipate, to explain what they need explained, to think what they must be thinking, to feel what they must be feeling, in which all these apply to critical thinking. But not everyone believes critical thinking is essential in a workplace. Some people think that perseverance and hard work are more important. Like Tanish Coates from the website The Atlantic, Coates says that if you work on your craft long enough, you will have a skill set that your competition does not. Sure, hard work and perseverance are good skills, but just because a person works hard doesn't mean they will have success. A person can work hard all they want, but it is critical thinking that makes the steps to move forward. It is critical thinking that leads to success. Work smarter, not harder. I believe tutors should stress critical thinking because all jobs require it. Tutors can do this is by challenging students' minds. This gives students the first push of critical thinking, asking them to think hard and smart of the situation, or by telling students to break down their ideas and organize the thoughts. Tutors can also ask questions such as who is being addressed, what message are being informed, what is the goal, what is the purpose, and then perhaps suggest options without completely giving away the answer. Kimberly Joki from the Grammarly blog and Kylie Wines from the Harvard Business Review both agree that grammar is a big issue when it comes to a workplace. Kimberly Joki believes that people who make fewer grammar errors are better at their jobs and tend to get paid more. Kylie Wines says that she won't hire people who use poor grammar. This is where tutors can come in action. Tutors can help students to learn to think critically, in which they learn to objectively study their own writing and evaluate it from someone else's point of view. This would be extremely helpful when students apply for a job for someone like Ryan's. Tutors can, tutors don't have to think for the students, they just have to challenge the minds of students to think critically. By doing this, not only will tutors be solving the lack of critical thinking, communication, and poor grammar problem, but students themselves will be better off in any approach or situation, especially in the workplace. The root of improvement comes from critical thinking. That is why critical thinking is so important, especially when writing in a workplace. Every great idea comes from critical thinking. Albert Einstein once said, education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. Now it is up to you to decide on how you will train the minds of others to think.